Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. And I'm Mike Amos speaking to you from our studios on South Grundy Street in Troy, Alabama, where in just a few moments you'll find out what's going on in America and what's going on especially in Troy and Pike County. Dave's Grocery. Dave speaking.
Hey, morning.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Grayton Beach, Florida.
Grayton Beach, Florida, population 89 or 90?
Say it's probably about 200 maybe.
Oh, that's right. Do you live down in the village, or where do you live?
Yeah, I live in off Defuniak Street.
Have you seen any bicycles going down the road lately?
Yeah, I see about 200 a day.
Now, somebody told me that Georgia still has a lot of their spring break out there, and I've always heard
the last groups we've seen have been Louisiana, South Carolina, and North Carolina.
And they celebrate Easter.
Down here in Grayton.
That's right, and for years and years people celebrated Easter holidays, and that was the big time,
Yeah, there was thousands and thousands of people that came down for Easter weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. It was actually cool, and the mornings and the afternoons got up to low 70s. It was perfect weather.
Well, those winds were tough, weren't they?
Yeah, the winds were pretty bad, but it was to the point where up till I guess yesterday, the winds finally died down.
Yeah. Mike, of course, the draft is tomorrow. Is that when it starts?
To look and see. I'm not sure.
No, wait a minute. No, excuse me. The 25th. The 25th. I'm sorry.
More like around Thursday night.
Yeah, 25th, which will be Thursday. You're exactly right. And right now, the number one guy out there is the cornerback from LSU. How in the world can a cornerback be the first pick?
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I thought the number one guy out there was but Nick Boso, who played at Ohio State. And then number two, I thought was Quentin Williams from Alabama.
Well, this is from USA Today.
Different drafts.
You're right.
Have different people going different places.
Of course, they got DeAndre Baker, another defensive back that
he
cornerback.
played at Georgia.
And a guy named Byron Murphy from Washington. They change every day. Somebody gets hot on some don't. They had a big golf tournament.
Yeah, I saw the former first-round pick and future Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware. I saw those pictures on TroyChargers.com. I saw his agent was with him as well, Chris Cole.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Chris Cole from right here in Troy, Alabama originally. Of course, his office is in, and he's lived for several years in Birmingham. One of the great guys, I tell you, KT Cole's boy, and he went to Wharton School of Business, didn't he? Pretty smart guy.
Of course, he's been DeMarcus' agent, and he worked with Cornelius Griffin as well. I mean, they've, been very loyal, and he's been very loyal to him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, no question about it.
Marcus had some great pictures, if anybody wants to see on TroyTreasures.com, all the different stuff he did while he was in town, and of course he spoke to the players and threw out the first pitch at the softball game, and then he was looking at all the new facilities, all the new upgrades. I mean, Troy University's changed a lot since he played there. I mean, the whole university in general.
No question about it.
Listen, the football game was, they had a lot of issues as far as throwing the ball because of the windy conditions.
Yeah, that's right.
Sawyer Smith was 13 for 26. Gunnar Watson was 12 for 20. Watson had a better day throwing the ball. He threw for 150. Smith threw for 99. Of course, Caleb Barker did not participate in the game. But Jacob Free got in a little bit. Gavin Screws got in a little bit. So Troy is playing all these quarterbacks. It'll be interesting to see who transfers out. You would think somebody's going to.
How about running backs? How did they look?
The best running back of the day was Strong, but, he's going to have to sit out a year.
Are you sure?
Well, the NCAA has not granted a waiver for him to be able to play.
It would have to be a hardship. You're right. It has to be a hardship.
What they're saying right now is he's going to have to sit out a year.
Yeah. Of course, we've got a lot of baseball.
Of course, they barely played B.J. Smith at all because of the fact he, they kind of know what they're getting in that situation.
Yeah. course, high school baseball and softball playoffs start this week, and actually started last week.
Henderson won, but boy, they gave up a lot of runs.
Yeah, but they're loaded. Boy, Charles Henderson baseball is loaded. Then with the addition of a couple of guys, especially McWhorter at catcher, and then boy, they're getting great pitching right now with some young ones that are just throwing the ball by people right now.
Their top guys are what, Heener and Stallworth?
Yeah, Stallworth and Heener, and both of them are young guys, especially Stallworth, and he is quite a player. And it doesn't surprise me. Dad was a great player. His great granddad was a former professional player, and I mean, what happened to your stock, man? Why can't anybody say something like that about you? That you're great. That you're great. That your daddy.
Only Amos I ever knew that was good in baseball was my cousin Chris. He was pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, listen, your daddy was a headhunter. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, that was in football. We're talking about baseball.
Well, that's what I've been saying. He wasn't a baseball player. No question about it. Of course,
Chris Amos is the only person I ever known though that played catcher and got his hand severely broke by a bat.
Yeah, you're right. Well, that could easily happen.
Breaking your hand, that's got to be one of the more freakiest injuries you could have.
Well, his stardom started after he graduated from high school and college. He started playing in the Montgomery Sunday leagues and used to knock a lot of them out of Patterson Field. I think he had about 18 to 20 home runs one summer.
Oh, yeah, what do they call those? Cable leagues? I can't remember what they called those.
That's right. And the guy that was playing over...
wrapping up the spring, and I think Coach Lindsey seems overall happy. Of course, they sat out a lot of guys. It's one of those situations where you kind of have some guys you want to hold out because you already know what to expect, and then trying to get reps from the other guys. I mean, I would think that they said the crowd was pretty decent. Tough to do anything like this during Easter weekend, though, you got to admit.
Well, it was a good crowd, and and everybody seemed to be happy and glad to get it over with. We're gonna have Coach
Trey Eford had a good game. He had caught six passes for 46 yards.
Yeah, he had a great spring.
A guy I never really even heard of, B. Hinton, had 3 catches for 33 yards. So the star of the day was your buddy Luke Whittemore.
Yeah, he's good.
5 catches for 94 yards, so he's really playing well.
I don't know if he was a signee or a redshirt, or a walk-on, but he's from South Florida and can run. And the thing he can do, he can catch the football.
I'm pretty sure he's a scholarship kid.
Yeah, he can catch the football, and that's very important. Of course, Troy went into the spring with 5 quarterbacks, and now they've got to decide what they're going to do. Of course, Gunnar Watson ended up doing pretty well, and he hit Whittemore for a touchdown. And Watson is a young man out of Georgia, Mike. He's coming off of a gray shirt and a red shirt, so he should be ready. As a third stringer right now, the first stringer is.
That's pretty good if you got Gunnar Watson as a third string quarterback. I think he's pretty talented.
Yeah, no question. Of course, it all starts with our young man from Priceville, Alabama, and he's right now running first string, and of course the second string.
Yeah, you gotta hope that Barker is going to be able to be healthy. You gotta hope that he'll come back and be full strength. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Sawyer Smith does. If he does get beat out, will he transfer and try to go somewhere and play 2 years, or will he try to just basically be the backup, and then he'll have a senior year to be the starter?
Yeah, now he's a junior right now, and of course he'll play a lot.
He's already been redshirted as well, so
and he'll play a lot.
He is in the classroom.
Yeah, no question that he'll play a lot, and of course the Barker. If he can get back and come back as strong as ever, no telling how good he's going to be. And
of course, the defense is missing Tron Folsom and Marcus Jones, 2 guys that transferred out, 2 former starters. So I would assume those roles have been filled, and it seems like they had positive reviews about the defense during the spring, from what I read.
Where did the Tron Folsom end up going? Do you know?
I don't know. I hadn't heard where he went. I know Jones went to Houston.
Yeah. You reckon what caused that? That surprised me about Jones because he was an All-American, preseason All-American. And I wonder, will he still have that same status at Houston? But he's got to sit out a year, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got to sit out a year.
So I wonder how much fun that's going to be. And of course, the head coach at Houston is the former West Virginia coach. And they had to pay him $4 million. Boy, I tell you, to be paid so much, he hadn't won a whole lot of football games, at least from my viewpoint. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's never come close to winning the Big 12. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Of course, a lot of soccer.
They got a lot of money there, though. I mean, it's a huge market as well.
Oh, yeah, no question about that. No question about it. Of course, we got baseball playoffs going on right now. Arrington's playing at Cottonwood today at 5. They continue their best of 2 out of 3. In softball, you've got G.W. Long going up against playing a regular season game at Northview, or they're playing at G.W. Long. Ashford's at Eufaula Charles Simpson at Slocum. These are just regular season games, I think. Headland at Abbeville, and several other games, Kinston and Pleasant Home. Taking a look at the Alabama Independent Schools, they're in their playoffs now, and best of 3 is Pike Liberal Arts playing host to Lee Scott in a best of 3 or doubleheader, and that is. I want to say today. Yes, sir. That's today on the campus of Pike Liberal Arts. And some other games being played today. Northside Methodist is at Springwood. So that's the regional result forecast for Class 3A. Class 2A, Lowndes Academy at Lakeside in a doubleheader. Emmanuel Christian at Autauga in a doubleheader. So those are big games coming up as the Alabama Independent School has their playoffs. Of course, we're also looking at the same thing pretty much in softball. The Pike Liberal Arts softball team plays host to Lee Scott today at 4. And, well, let's see here. It's Tuesday at 4. And Lee Scott, Northside Methodist plays at Springwood, and that's Class 3A softball. So, we'll be keeping you up with that. High school soccer, Goshen is at Houston Academy today, and Providence Christian is at St. James. And excuse me, I want to repeat myself one more time. That's on Tuesday. So we'll be trying to keep up with all of these tournament action. Of course, CT Pan, P-A-N, wins at Harbortown yesterday, took on $1.24 million for its efforts. Wins with a stroke over one of my favorites, Mike, Matt Kuchar. My favorite golfers are Matt Kuchar, Phil Mickelson, and Bubba Watson. Those are my 3 favorite golfers. Who are yours?
Mine right now probably with Sylvie Mickelson, then Justin Thomas would definitely be second. Kid that played at Alabama. I'd say probably after that I like McIlroy, and then I like Ricky Fowler. I also kind of like some of the older players. I like Furyk, and I like what's his name? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. I like Graham McDowell because I watched him actually.
That's right.
While I was in Birmingham, so I've always kind of followed him a little bit.
He's trying to come back a little bit, no question about it. Of course, our show's brought to you by Health
He won a tournament over in, I guess what was it, Puerto Rico, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Sad news in Prattville yesterday in the golf tournament. Robbie Shelton, the kid from Alabama, who was phenomenal All-American player and played in Mobile. Grew up in Mobile, but was on those 2 Alabama national championship teams. He had to leave for 3 days in Prattville and was up by 1 stroke going on to 18. And this guy named Latino Griffin ended up hitting it 2 feet, I think, or 5 feet on 18 and birdied. And went to a playoff with Shelton, and then in the playoff, of course, Shelton was surrounded by tons of.
I heard he went 6 extra holes, didn't he?
Yeah, went 4 extra holes.
Oh, 4 extra holes.
Griffin beats him in the playoffs, so congratulations to that guy. Because I mean, basically Shelton was playing on his home turf. He played in so many different tournaments and so many different times on that course in Prattville, and this kid out of California came in there and beat him. But it's tough for Shelton, you know, a guy that's trying to make the PGA Tour. It's all about the money you make. So first you make $99,000, and that pretty much guarantees your spots.
Is that how much he made?
Tour, because they take the top 25 as far as in money and winnings, and by losing, he won $59,000, which is still great on that tour, but it's a difference in $40,000 of money, which pretty much would have guaranteed his status on the PGA Tour. But he's now 12th, I think, in the standings, and they take the top 25.
Oh, good.
To the PGA Tour, but tough to lose on a course like that you have all the experience, and this guy out of California, he's pretty much a journeyman. I think he's 31 years old. Shelton's only 23.
That's right. I was impressed. I was impressed with that, though. He filled his trophy with beer. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I thought that was sort of funny.
It's one of those things though where he's one of those bright Alabama golfers that a lot of people thought would be on the tour immediately. So he's kind of, you know.
Well, he's famous for that 58. You remember when he shot 58?
Yeah, he's not 58. That's Bobby White.
Oh, okay. I do get those guys confused. Both of them play at Alabama, don't they?
Yeah, well, both of them play at Alabama. They're both from Mobile, but Shelton's the legendary player who, as a freshman, led the national championship team, was actually putting up bigger numbers than Justin Thomas.
Yeah, so he's going to be a great one. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to more of Today in L.A.
Hey folks, are you tired of spending hard-earned money on a gas grill only to have it burn up in less than 2 years? Not to mention burning your food. Here at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, we carry the Holland Grill line. They've been around since 1988, and there are people right here in Troy that have had theirs for over 20 years. These grills are guaranteed not to flare up. You can grill, steam, or smoke on your new Holland Grill today. Come see us at Southern Grill and Patio in Troy, Alabama, inside Town & Country Flooring Center.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile. You saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
Street in Troy, and they've got some great sales going on at one of my very favorite stores. And of course, in the meat department, they've got you pick 5 meats for $17.99, and that's a pretty good deal. They got their boneless ribeye steaks, $7.99 a pound. French quarter, fresh fryer leg quarters, $4.95 a pound. Smoked shank portion ham, 99 cents a pound. And that was delicious yesterday. And, of course, whole fryer, whole wings, $1.99 a pound. And, of course, Boston butts. You folks that like to throw barbecues, it's a good time to buy Boston butts, $1.07 a pound. Today at your local Piggly Wiggly on North 39th Street and also in the Marketplace Shopping Center.
The best way to cook a Boston butt is just put it in a crock pot and let it sit all day.
It really is, no question about it. And do the same thing with roast. You can put that roast in there and chop up some potatoes and some carrots and some onions, and you really got a great meal. Of course, we've got a lot of great values, though, today at Piggly Wiggly, cost plus 10%, and we appreciate it very much. Mike Amos is on the other line this morning, and Troy, Mike, wins another series, but they didn't, they won.
They can't ever sleep, and that's the problem. They gotta find a way to sleep some of these teams at home. I mean, they're winning 2 out of 3, which is still good, but I'm sure even Coach Smart, wants Troy to find a way to win all 3. They've had a hard time doing that this season. They fell 9-7 on Sunday. Sadler looks like Sadler Goodwin got a loss, went to 3-5. Troy had 12 hits. Their record now is 21-19, 9-9 in the Sun Belt.
Yeah. How many? Of course,
They got beat by an Appalachian State team that only had won 16 games. So, unfortunately, Troy couldn't get the sweep against them, and fell on Saturday is when that game was played. So, I guess Appalachian State was able to get home for Easter.
Yeah, they played a doubleheader on Saturday. Got a great pitching performance by the young men from Coleman on Thursday night, Mike, and then played Friday. Oh, they played one game Saturday and lost. And again,
Gill struck out 11 and got the win in game 2.
Right now, if Gill and the starter from Coleman are starting to come around and play and pitch very well, with those 2 starters, and they can come up with somebody else that gets the hot hand, they can be tough, don't you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I still don't think they have enough pitching, though. I don't think 2 guys are going to be enough. And then they got to go play at Sanford in Birmingham on the 24th, which is
that's this week, isn't it?
Not somebody you want to play. Sanford came to Troy a week ago and beat Troy 15-5, and Troy's going to have to really find some pitching to beat them up there.
Yeah, Sanford's won 27 games already, and maybe more than that since the weekend. They might be hitting 30 now. Of course,
that's gonna be a tough trip during the week this week. Got to find guys that want to be on that. Some guys that are productive during the week. Once you start pitching well, then that's when you get your chance on the weekend in conference play. And maybe they can find somebody to step up. I tell you what, though, they're gonna have to hit up there as well, because Sanford's got a lineup that scores tons of runs.
Yeah. Auburn loses their great player, Mike, to the draft.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to be able to participate in any workouts and get in front of any teams. I know your game film looks good, but Chuma, Okiki decided to go ahead and go pro. Of course, he had that horrible ACL injury against North Carolina, and I think a lot of people thought he might go pro if he would have stayed healthy, but I don't know if he's going to hire an agent or not. That's what it comes down to. If you hire an agent, you're pretty much going to stay in the draft. If you don't hire an agent, you can go and practice and work out in front of the NBA teams and figure out if it's a good fit or not.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we've got Troy's football schedule we can talk about today, and also want to remind you that Troy...
the basketball signing as well. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, the new basketball signing. Now, we lost the kid out of Montgomery. He dropped his commitment. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that worked. Troy added Nick Stampley.
Yeah.
He's basically Scott Frost's first player he's brought in.
How big a kid is he, Mike? It didn't show it where I was looking.
Yeah, I don't see that either. That is kind of interesting. He played at a place, let's see, Eastern Florida State College, where his team went 28-8. He averaged 10.1 points per game and 7 rebounds a game. So you would think he's got a little size to him.
I noticed that in high school they led his team to a state championship. And has he got 2 more years or 3 more?
2 more years. He's an OKG, which Scott Cross is a slogan for Scott Cross. That means our kind of guy.
Our kind of guy. Okay. I like that.
Of course, Troy still doesn't have an athletic director, so who knows when that's going to be settled. And then coaching staff on TroyTrojans.com. We have no coaches listed as well. All you see is Scott Cross. So surely he's got a coaching staff he's got to be bringing together.
I know he kept Worley, and I love Worley, and he's great guys. And I love that whole staff.
That was good to hear, but none of that's official, though. So that's what I'm saying. When is stuff like this going to be official for everybody to see?
I like Cunningham and his whole staff. I mean, I'm gonna just, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. Coach Cunningham, Coach Grant, of course, Ben Fletcher is a loyal, coach. And, great player at Troy. He'll find. I mean, everybody will find a job. I'm not worried about that.
And they were very good coaches, no question about it.
It's one of those situations over there. They were there 6 years, and of course, Grant and Cunningham are longtime SEC assistants. At Mississippi State, and I'm sure as many people as they know in the coaching world, they'll wind up with a good job somewhere.
Mike, I was looking at those guys, and we'll be talking about that. We jump around, bounce around like a rubber ball, but Griffin, by winning at Robert Trent Jones, this was Robert Trent Jones in Prattville. It was he takes home $99,000. Sheldon, which is nice for a guy that doesn't have any money much, and the same way with Sheldon, took home $59,400. But I was looking for some other well-known names, and as I go through that list, are you looking at it at all?
This is the web.com tour, so there's not going to be as many well-known names for people out there listening.
I'm looking through here, trying to find somebody that I do know. Kevin Daugherty, I don't know about him. I'm going through here trying to find. This is the top.
The top 25 each year go to the PGA Tour.
And
so it's a huge deal.
This is the top class. Next to the
PGA Tour minor league.
Exactly, just like the minor league.
Like Hunter Hamrick from Troy is trying to get on the web.com tour. He's never. He's probably played in some web.com tour like events, but he's never been actually on the tour.
Here's a guy that won $1,400, shot 70, 69, 71, 70, 71, and that was Sam Love. No, he shot a 77 on the last day. That's got to be my buddy's son.
Well, the only Love I know that Davis Love's son is Drew Love.
Oh, okay. This guy's name was Sam Love. And I was trying to...
there might be some relation on down the road.
Yeah. Of course, there's... How many different golf leagues do you have? How many do you have, you reckon?
Well, there's Canadian PGA Tour. There's a Latin American PGA Tour. The guy you should know is Tyler McCumber. He came in third, and his dad was Mark McCumber.
Okay. That's what I was sort of looking for, yeah.
Martin Flores played on the PGA Tour. Casey Wittenberg played on the PGA Tour. These are all guys that have played on the PGA Tour that did play in Prattville.
So it was a fun. I'm sure it was some fun golf to watch.
Chad Campbell played. Chad Campbell's won probably 5 or 6 times on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, that's right. What does he do playing in that league?
He lost his tour card.
He's a big guy.
Eric Compton is played on the PGA Tour. Matt Avery's played on the PGA Tour. There's several guys.
And what they're doing, they're trying to get the card back. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, if they don't get the card...
David Lingmurph played on PGA Tour. Derek Ertz. All these guys have won tournaments.
Now, if they don't get the card back...
There were several guys that played on the PGA Tour playing in that event.
If they don't get the card back, they have to go through and play for the right to...
this will give you a name. This guy won the Masters, Mike Weir.
Oh, he's a left-handed golfer from Canada. You mean he played on that tour?
Yeah, everybody's trying to get back on the PGA Tour. You got to play on the web.com. Daniel Summerhay has got to play on the tour all the time. There was tons of guys that tried to win this tournament.
Yeah, Blaine Barber. I wonder if he's related to Miller Barber. Jimmy Shirley's favorite player was Miller Barber.
Well, just like Boo Weekley's not on the PGA Tour anymore, but he played the Heritage, and he'd won that tournament twice, so he had a opportunity to play. And I think he came in somewhere in the 20s yesterday, but he won $57,000.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just the difference on the PGA Tour. So he finishes like 20, 25, and makes $57,000. Shelton plays and almost wins the tournament, finishes second, makes $59,000. That just tells you what the difference is in money on the PGA Tour.
Well, you're right, no question about it. But if I knew about this tournament, I would have probably gone to see it. I like.
You had too much going on. You had you got Easter, you had family down at the beach, you had the Troy spring game. There's with baseball games, there's just a lot going on.
Exactly.
The last thing you're probably going to do is go to the PGA Tour, man.
Exactly.
Only if you went early in the week, I guess.
Yeah. Mike, let's look at some other guys. Can you believe that Drew Lock is 6'4", 228, has got a shot in the draft? What do you think?
Well, I mean, he's put up, record numbers at Missouri. Yeah, I mean, he's threw for more passing yards than anybody in Missouri history. I mean, he's definitely a guy that will get drafted. I don't know if he'll go in the first 2 or 3 rounds, but he's a guy I think that'll be on the NFL roster. I mean, he's definitely proven that in college that he can play.
Darryl,
he runs the spread, so I mean, the spread offenses are getting more. So like more and more quarterbacks are making the NFL do running the spread.
Ole Miss has got a guy that's flirting with the top 5, DK Metcalf, and of course he's pretty as he can be, 6'3", 228, and runs a 4.3
4.4.
I know it. He is really something. And of course he built a Paul Bunyan type look about him, and of course he's very fast and evidently catches the ball pretty well. Ole Miss also had an offensive tackle, Greg Little, 6'5", 310, that looks to go high. We're looking at what some people think are the top 15. Right now, though, it's question mark on Mac Wilson from Alabama, 6'1", 240.
I've seen stuff where he's going to probably go in the 3rd round now, so he made a mistake coming out too early.
It probably did, no question about it. And it's just amazing how they look at things. That, like this guy, Greedy Williams, comes out of nowhere. It looks like he's going to be the #1 pick.
Well, you're the only person that said Greedy Williams is going to be the #1 pick. I'm not seeing that anywhere on any of the drafts I've looked up.
Right, okay. Well, there are several of them.
What somebody said in the USA Today?
No, well, there's several of them. Your guru buddy was on TV.
I mean, Kuiper and McShay are talking about something. I listen to them a little bit more, and they're using the best guy as far as the draft.
These are prospects that's supposed to have.
It's huge news. Nick Saban had hip replacement surgery, and hopefully Coach Saban will get back to 100%. He'll probably feel better than ever after having this hip replacement.
Yeah, no question about it. But of course, we're talking about with the NFL draft beginning April 25th. Reporters from USA Today, Today's Sports Network, and top 5 players at each position. That's pretty much what he was looking at, and. The top cornerback is this guy Greedy Williams, and he was very good at LSU, and of course they've got another one from Georgia, and that's leaving early. That's what gets me. I'm afraid it's going to get like, it might already be like this, but I'm afraid it's going to get like basketball, where you see all these guys leave early, and it's just going to take away a lot from the game, I think. I really do.
You can't leave until you're a junior in the classroom. So if you were a redshirt sophomore like Quentin Williams at Alabama, you can go.
Well, how about these kids at Kentucky in basketball? They stay 1 year and leave.
That's one and done. Now they're saying that the NBA and college, basketball are going to try to just get that, that one and done over with, and just go back to letting guys go right out of high school.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me Zion Williams couldn't have played in the NBA this year. I mean, there's so many guys that have proved you can come right out of high school and be great players. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett. I mean, it's just one of those things where that's a dumb rule.
Yeah.
Zion Williams gets hurt because his shoe blows out. And, thank goodness he's going to be all right. But, say he has a horrible knee injury and, never gets back to 100%.
Yeah, no question about it.
He could already have been a multimillionaire. Gerald Wallace, a kid out of Childersburg, had to go to Alabama for that 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
And, actually kind of hurt his draft stock. He ended up going later in the first round.
When they
1 year at Alabama.
And when they go for 1 year, they don't even go to class. I mean,
of course they don't go to class.
Yeah.
I mean, you think they have to go to class when, during basketball season? Basically, they're just, I mean, it's during that.
You're right. You ask a lot of
break. I mean, they don't have to go to class.
When your buddy played quarterback on the national championship at Auburn, I don't think he went to school much.
my buddy Cam Newton.
Yeah, your buddy Cam Newton. We're going to take a short break. Well, you know what? your buddy Cam Newton used to date your first cousin's stepdaughter. You remember that?
I mean, I've heard that. I mean, I don't know for sure.
That's right. No question about it.
But all I know is he had so many traffic tickets, at Florida.
Did he?
I think when he went to Auburn, he rode around on a scooter everywhere.
Are you serious? Well, he owned that place and still does today. Who is the most famous, the most popular guy? Bo Jackson?
I mean, it's got to be Bo Jackson still.
All right, wait a minute. The top
Still
three.
doing national
All
commercials.
right. Throw in Pat Sullivan. Tell me who out of these
the top
four.
three have got to be Bo Jackson, Charles Barkley, and Cam Newton.
All right, what you got to throw in?
Pat Sullivan was a great player and a Heisman Trophy winner, but he's never had the national exposure those guys.
Well, he won the Heisman Trophy, but you're right. Those three guys. All right, they're the three at all.
And then Frank Thomas does a lot of commercials too now.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's popular.
Throw Frank Thomas.
He's got more exposure than Sullivan.
Yeah. Throw Frank Thomas in there. That's four. All right, now pick them from Alabama. Joe Namath, still doing commercials. Kenny Stabler. Bart Starr would probably have to go in there, wouldn't he?
Bart Starr, yes, definitely real popular. I mean, now you got guys like.
Well, your guy from Atlanta would have to be right in there, Mike.
Julio, but he doesn't do. Julio doesn't do any spots.
But I'm just talking about
we're talking about like
big time athlete,
Hollywood celebrity type people. I mean, Alabama. I mean, you got Mark Ingram, you got Julio Jones. Those guys are pretty.
Yeah, Mark Ingram. Don't throw Mark Ingram in there. But Julio Jones is a big time player, no question.
I mean, most Alabama guys were like legendary. I mean, I would say
Stabler would be there. Bart Starr would be there.
I think Namath was on Monday Night Football, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Namath would be there, no question about it. And then one more to compare with Auburn's,
Yeah.
Man, oh man, Auburn had produced some great ones, no question about it. And
but I mean, I'm talking about nationally, what people
know. Nationally, what people.
I mean, you can't get
you're exactly right.
Jackson, Charles Barkley, and Cam Newton.
Yeah, you're right. And then the same way with Bart Starr, Joe Namath, and maybe Stabler or maybe. But I would think you would throw the great one from Atlanta in there, Mike. He is a big time star now.
I mean, he's a star player, but I'm talking about as far as like national media and coverage, like people that are outside of what they did on the field, as far as off the field.
Yeah.
Barkley and Bo Jackson commercialized, Bo knows programming, with Nike, and then Barkley was a Nike guy.
That's right.
Barkley's the voice of the NBA. He's also, does college basketball tournaments. I mean,
Barkley is quickly becoming maybe the most famous of them all. I mean, everybody loves Barkley. God, they love Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, Barkley's one of the more approachable guys you'll ever meet.
But
I mean,
next only
at least 2 or 3 times. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I mean, I sat there one night in Birmingham at an establishment and shot pool right next to him all night.
Oh yeah, he's a nice guy, really is. Of course, the great one, Michael Jordan, and compare him with Bo Jackson. Now, those are two. Bo knows and all that.
Those are the 2 of the greatest of all time.
I would think that.
I mean, the top guy ever now that's got to be Tiger.
Yeah, but Mike, a close one that we didn't throw in there. Well, we weren't doing it for Georgia, but you got Herschel Walker, down the line. But no question about it. Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson probably would be your top 2, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
And then comes
Jordan, just the Jordan brand. It's pretty amazing. Like, we used to always joke around when I was in the sporting good business. It's hard to imagine that college football teams actually wear a basketball Jordan logo on their jerseys. But that's, they got Jordan schools. Like Michigan wears the Jordan logo. You got a basketball player on a football jersey.
Yeah. Auburn had Tucker Frederickson, but he got hurt early in his pro career, or he would have been a household word, Tucker Frederickson. You don't know much about Tucker Frederickson.
We're talking about more endorsement, commercialized stuff like
You're
that.
right.
I mean, Namath was in movies. Namath was a...
Yeah, you're right. Namath would be close.
Sorry, I mean, Namath was on the Brady Bunch. I mean, he was on all these... different shows.
Namath would be close, but
super popular.
But right now, you would have to go with Jordan and Michael Jordan. No, excuse me, not Michael Jordan, but we'd have to go with Bo Jackson. Talking about the in-state players, Bo Jackson and the great Charles Barkley. Those guys are
I mean,
huge.
DeMarcus Ware's trying to follow that. You know, he's hosted shows on ABC, and he did Dancing with the Stars. You know,
Yeah.
he's trying to start a little TV career, it looks like. So
He is one of the most
I guess we'll see
premium,
what happens, you know, on down the road.
and he is one of the most premium athletes. And he said this this weekend. He said, "Man, when I came out of college, out of high school, nobody wanted me. The only school that wanted me was Troy." And I think he walked. Did he walk on or did he sign? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was on scholarship.
Yeah, but he's a wide receiver, 6'4", 195 pounds, and somebody. I tell you what, I was at the pro day when he ran 4.5, and that was the fastest time out there. You know, there's a lot of exaggeration about running, and that day it was they ran on grass. I think that's what I don't believe we even had turf then, but they ran on grass. And he ran 4.5, and those pro scouts could not believe it. Here he is, 6'4", 256 pounds, and runs a 4.540. Then they said, "Oh boy, rush in, rush in, rush in." You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the biggest compliment you can ever get is when Dale Parcells, drives you to Dallas and compares you to Lawrence Taylor. You know, you can't get any more bigger than that.
No question about it. And it tickled me though. He's held his. I mean, he like you said the other day, they still sell his jersey at Dallas more than any. I don't know. I think it's the top jersey out there still at Dallas. Number 80.
Yeah, I mean, he's still one of the most popular players in the NFL and hadn't played in 2 or 3 years.
What number is that? 87.
No, 94.
94. I should know that. 94. But some great ones have gone through here, but man, they just don't get much.
Well, I mean, you got him and Leotis. They both went in the first round, 11th pick overall. So by far but I mean, Leotis had a good NFL career. I think he played 10 years at least, which is a great career. But nobody's put up the kind of numbers that DeMarcus did. Now,
no question.
OCM and yours, the only person that even came close. And of course, OC got 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants.
Yeah.
And he's a guy will probably go in the Giants Hall of Fame, I would imagine one day. But there's no doubt that Marcus Ware is going to be a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer.
We got a call coming in. Let me put you on hold. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, it's Will Matthews.
Will Matthews, won't you please come home? I know you were disgusted you couldn't find anybody to hide eggs with yesterday, could you? So you ate the whole dozen boiled eggs.
My only grandchild's in Virginia, so I couldn't.
Oh, really? Yeah. All right.
But let me tell you something. She's going to see Donald Trump this morning.
Oh, good. Stay here a second. I'm fixing to move you around a little bit. And all right, I got you on, Will.
Yeah.
Will Matthews is on, calling in from Ozark this morning, and of course we were talking sports this morning and talking a little golf. Tell us about your Easter. Did you have a good one?
Well, it was. Yeah, had a good Easter, and
you put on your seersucker suit and your white bucks, and what else did you do?
I go to a contemporary service in Dothan.
Yeah.
So I wear a sport coat and a golf shirt. That's it.
Well, I was at the beach and people were wearing shorts and whatever, as long as they got in the house. And boy, I went to a great church, a Woodstock. It's the same Woodstock that they have in Atlanta. They're Woodstock Baptist Church, and they've got one in Panama City now. And
isn't that Reverend Stanley's son's got that?
I don't know, but I know this, that the preacher that preached to me was just outstanding. He was just about as good as I've heard lately. And what I like, they have donuts before and after the sermon. And those donuts came from Thomas's, I believe.
Oh.
But
that's a good enough reason to go right there.
Exactly right. And of course, Will Matthews is our guest. Tell us what's been going on.
Not much. My grandbaby is going to the White House today to roll the Easter egg with the president.
Are you serious?
That ought to be fun.
Oh, yeah. how did they get an invite to do that?
Well, when you work for the president, you get
That's
invited
right.
to everything.
That's right. No question about it.
And he got, last Saturday, he was invited to the garden party they had at the White House. So,
oh, man.
They having a big time.
Yes, sir. No question about it. And, of course, a lot going on this time of year, Will, and especially with baseball and, college baseball and high school and college softball and baseball. And it's a pretty exciting time. We were just right on the corner. Most everybody now either had their junior, senior prom this past week, or the last weekend before. They didn't have it on Easter weekend, but coming up would be pretty much the last prom in this area, and boy, school will be out before we know it, and we'll be getting ready, and we'll be talking college football more.
Yep.
And of course, Will Matthews getting ready for the World Championship of Dominoes held out at the in Ozark, Alabama. Is that right? The World Championship of Dominoes. You gonna start your own?
No, it's in Andalusia.
Oh, I know that. When does that come up? That's in July.
I've been to every domino tournament since 1976, I think, or 1978. Yeah. I mean, it's been like 40 years in a row I've gone, and this year I'm going to miss it.
Why? Where are you going?
There's a wedding in Atlanta I've got to be at the wedding. So
yeah, I understand.
There's no way I can play and do the wedding, too, so it's a shame, but that's the way it is.
It ought to be fun. Will, I'm going to go to a break. I'm going to come right back with you right after this break. We'll be right back to more of Today in L.A.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Max Federal Credit Union on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, my good friends over there do a super job, and drop by today and see them. Of course, I also want to mention our good friends at Bird Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy. Now, you're born and raised Ozark. You're bound to have had an old drugstore that still had ice cream for sale. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. Brown Sundries or whatever it's called.
And they have a milkshake and an ice cream cone. That's a good enough reason to want to go downtown, isn't it, to get some ice cream? Is that right?
And everybody does back then.
Yeah. Of course, I was moving around a little bit this weekend and down at the beach and had some pretty good food and went to Dusty's one night and had
the wind was blowing down there hard.
it was blowing real hard down there. And up until yesterday, it got better yesterday, but was not conducive for anybody jumping in. I'll tell you what, how bad it was. It had a double red flag. That's telling you not to go in. Isn't that right?
Well, I heard a 20-year-old drowned down there.
Yeah, I heard that too, and it wasn't far from us. You know, it was down there where, where a lot of college kids and high school kids go usually.
Yeah.
But please don't follow the leader, ladies and gentlemen. If you see some crazy guy running out there to the water, that don't mean you have to or not. And they were going in, and it was cold. Boy, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Will Matthews is our guest, of course, just coming off the Masters, and of course,
Let me ask you this: has Troy got a new athletic director yet?
Not yet, and I'm sure they're working on it, but they have not come up with, at least I haven't seen the name thrown out there yet, you know.
Well, I sent Dr. Hawkins a name, and I hope he hires him. He'd be great.
Can you mention him by name?
His name's Craig Maddox. He worked for the SEC for 20 years, and he's at Winthrop right now.
Yeah, that's a nice school. Yeah, Winthrop's a nice school.
He's over in South Carolina, but he's from Ozark. He wants to come back home.
And what was his name again?
Craig Maddox.
Craig Maddox. Okay. Well,
he got all the degree. He worked for the SEC for 20 years.
Well, Winthrop has always had a good basketball and baseball team. Very good.
Right.
And no question about it. Will Matthews is our guest, and we're waiting for Mike Amos to call back in. He'll be calling in a moment. Mike, Will, you're on hold. You're not on hold right second, so let me go back and pick him up. I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. All right, Mike Amos, are you on the line now?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, Will Matthews, you on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right, Will Matthews and Mike Amos on our show this morning, and Will, tell us a little bit. You've got that pink hat ready for me. Now, people say pink hat. Well, I got a pink sweater on this morning, but pink is the color now, isn't it? You see a lot of pinks, don't you?
Oh yeah, pink's a good color.
Yeah, and of course, Will, tell us a little bit about the Masters. Of course, you had a hard time. And you were worried, and ended up having to pull out your wallet and pay big money. That's got to become, or it's always been a tough ticket, but it's getting worse and worse, isn't it?
And now the Tigers back playing, it's going to even get worse than it is.
Yeah, they still love the Tiger, and of course he's changed his ways a little bit. I was pretty impressed with his interview. I like that humble attitude he's been showing lately.
When you don't win a tournament in 11 years, it'll make you humble.
No question about it. We were out here.
Of course, Will's favorite golfer, CT Fan, won the Heritage yesterday. You ever heard of him, Will?
Nah, he's already said something about him already, Mike.
I never heard of him. Never.
But now he's one of the
Shelton kid yesterday pretty much would have guaranteed a spot on the PGA Tour. That's what I was trying to explain to Dad about if you win on that Web.com tour. Of course, they played in Prattville where he'd played many times. That had to break his heart yesterday because that would have guaranteed pretty much a spot in the top 25.
He lost in a playoff, didn't he?
Yeah,
He lost in 4 extra playoff holes yesterday. He led every single day of that tournament and actually was up by 1 stroke going on 18.
Yeah.
But couldn't close it out.
Well, it's a debate every time people, like you mentioned Kuchar, and I really like Matt Kuchar, and he plays that tournament that we just got through with this weekend over at Harbortown.
He lives at Harbortown.
Does he? I know he played at Georgia Tech. One other guy, though, a local guy, Hubert Green, used to play that course good. Why is that? Because the fairways are so narrow, or what?
Oh, yeah, it's got small greens and narrow fairways. Whoever hits it straight has a big advantage there.
Yeah.
This was crazy going into that final round. Dustin Johnson had the lead. You would not think of him being such a bomber that he would have the lead, but he shot a 78 yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it caught up with him.
Yeah, Dustin is, I don't know, Dustin is not the classiest dude out there, I don't believe. First of all, he looks like a cowboy to me. He looks like he ought to be wearing 6 guns. But right now,
he's a good player on a big course, but not something like that.
Well, talking about Herbert Green, and of course the late Herbert Green, he died this a few months ago, and he's from Birmingham. He won close. I want to say he won over 20
he won over 20 tournaments and 2 majors.
And and that's pretty darn good, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
And he played with his hands very close to the ground, maybe as close as anybody on the tour. Is that true?
His hands were really low, and he had a low hook.
Yeah, and that's what made him play that course good. Is that right?
He was deadly. He was a deadly player.
Yeah. And
he played at Florida State. He played at Florida State, and his daddy was a doctor in Birmingham.
Yeah. Well, and something else, he saw him down at...
I wonder what made him go to Florida State.
They had a good golf team, evidently.
Was Auburn golf not very good back then?
I don't know, but I'll tell you something you did not know. He designed a famous golf course in the White House, in the Wiregrass. Take a guess. Where?
The Opelika? The Ozark Country Club?
In the Wiregrass.
In the Wiregrass.
Dothan Country Club?
Enterprise Country Club.
Oh, did he?
Let me tell you what he did. Back in the old days, they all got drafted for Vietnam and all that kind of stuff. Well, he went in the National Guard in Enterprise, Alabama. And they had all these machines and all this kind of stuff, and he went out there and asked them. He said, look, they had a little 9-hole rinky-dink course, but they had a lot of land. And they let him design a golf course. And it was, that's what it is today. Very good golf course.
I used to see him practicing down there. He used to practice at Signal Hill, and then he would, had his own little area down there. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't let anybody, I don't know why he had, of course, he was also out at the other place.
In a house at Bay Point.
Yeah, that's right. I remember he had a beautiful home there and so forth. He wasn't the most popular guy out there, but he was quite competitive, wouldn't you say?
Oh, he was a tough player.
Yeah, and of course, out of Birmingham Country Club and so forth. And the reason I brought that up today was he always played Harbortown good. Davis Love, you would think, would play Harbortown well. He lives right there, but he ain't won lately, has he?
Well, Davis is 52 or 3 years old.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And
he doesn't play the tour much.
And, his main, who his main advertiser was Polo. You remember that? That was a pretty good brand that and at one time, I think he's one of the only ones that was advertising Polo.
Yeah.
This is Hubert Green, the amateur wins. He won the Southern Amateur in 66, Alabama Amateur in 67, Alabama Amateur in 68, and then he won the Southern Amateur again in 69.
Yeah. All right, now during that time, it was another golfer in Birmingham that I'm sure they played with each other all the time, was Farlow. Was Farlow and Hubert Green about the same age?
Farlow is probably a lot younger.
But Farlow and Hubert Green, though, are by far the best 2 golfers in Birmingham, wouldn't you say? As amateurs,
I will say who the best golfer in Birmingham was Richard Anthony, and he never turned pro.
Yeah, that's right. What I'm saying, that as an amateur, though, Farlow never turned pro either, did he?
Richard Anthony turned pro in the banking business,
Yeah, but Synovus.
Now, Farlow was a pro for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Money.
Yeah. But he was a good one. I know that as far as an amateur for a long time. And wouldn't you say?
A couple of years ago, Jerry Pate was on Fine Ball, and somehow the conversation of Farlow got started. And he was talking about how Farlow played him and his son out at the Birmingham Country Club and were beating him by 5 or 6 strokes.
Yeah, he was a good one. And that Birmingham Country Club course is one of the best in Alabama, wouldn't you say?
What, Birmingham Country Club?
Yeah, we have probably one of the best golf courses in Alabama, next to maybe over on Lake Martin. That course on Lake Martin is pretty good.
You got Shoal Creek, you got Old Overton in Birmingham too.
Yeah, that's right. Those are 2 top very good golf courses, no question about it.
At one time, the West Course at Birmingham Country Club was the best course in the state.
And And then that tornado came through there and knocked all those trees down. You remember that?
They lost 20,000 trees.
Yeah,
That really hurt.
It was really no question about it. And but now a friend of mine, in fact, Colin McCreary, you know, who's very well known, he and his son played, on the lake the other day, and they said that course is in immaculate condition.
No, at Willow Point.
Yeah, Willow Point, there in Ellick City.
Willow Point's a real nice course.
So, and of course, those courses are still very much in demand when you're looking to play one of the top courses in the state. No question about it. Okay, Will, anything else going on, buddy?
Not much.
All right, well, look, you have a good one, and
Y'all have a good one.
I'll be down there soon. Take care. Will picked me up a pink hat, Mike, Masters hat, so I'll enjoy wearing that for a while. Mike Amos, are you still on the line? No, we've lost him too. Want to mention a few others before we go on break. Jim Skinner Honda, located just on the circle in Dothan, and a great selection of Honda cars, trucks, and new and used cars and trucks. No better deal anywhere than Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan. We'll be back.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Millie Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do. They're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
Getting my car detailed.
At Trojan Detail, we do it all.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our good friends at First National Bank of Brundage, Troy, and of course with home offices in downtown Brundage since 1904 when Mr. Jim Ramage started that bank, and there's been a Ramage running that bank ever since in downtown Brundage and also on Park Street in Troy, Alabama. Great bank, First National Bank of Troy, Brundage. I want to mention also our good friends over at Bird Drugs, and they're making breakfast right now at Bird Drugs, delicious breakfast, and looking for a great lunch. No better lunch anywhere than at Sister's Restaurant. Buffet lunch, fresh, delicious foods. You know, everybody talks about all these great places to eat, and one of them is Mike is the outfit out of Savannah that claims they've got all that food. I'd put Sisters up against them every day of the week, wouldn't you?
Oh, you talking about Paula Deen?
Yeah, Paula Deen. I'd put Sisters up against Paula Deen every day of the week.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, of course, you know, certain days they have certain things, but if you could ever go to Sisters and get their dressing, their broccoli casserole, their squash casserole, and then, of course, their unbelievable chicken fingers, and then my favorite, they don't have it very much, but I love their fried pork chops. And they used to do country fried steak, which was unbelievable too. And then on their dessert, stiff bread pudding and banana pudding are some of the best you'll ever eat. So, I mean, for the quality of food, I mean, I know some people think, $11, $12 for a buffet of tea is a lot, but man, I guarantee that in Birmingham, Alabama would be $20.
I know it. And it would have they'd have 1,000 people go through there every day, too.
Yeah, I mean, and a meat and 3 in Birmingham, Alabama is $12 or $13. I'd much rather have a meat and 6
Yeah.
and a dessert and be able to fix my own plate.
Yeah, no question about it. It's a wonderful place.
It's one of those places where, I mean, I live down in, at the beach now in Grayton, but, thank goodness I'm only 2 hours away, so I can still go up there and have it every once in a while.
Yeah. Charles Henderson now advances to the second round of the state playoffs after sweeping Valley in 2 games. Charles Henderson now will play at Bibb County, or actually at the Bibb County Marbury champion there, and they'll be playing they'll have their playoff today, so they split yesterday and will be playing today. So we'll be watching
playing today. They just had bad weather.
Well, I don't know. I just know this Charles Henderson.
That should be over with. That should have started on Friday and should have been done on.
Yeah, I tell you what.
They must have had bad weather. The only thing you think is they wouldn't allow them to play on Easter.
Yeah, that might have been it. And at the same time, it could have been where they have a bye, but I'm not sure.
There's no buys.
But Charles Henderson is red hot, 28 and 6.
It's really fair for Charles Henderson to be ranked second in the state and then have to go on the road the second weekend.
Yeah.
I never understand that.
I tell you what, this addition of McWhorter at catcher, he's just a junior, but boy, he has really added to some pop in that lineup. Charles Henderson is loaded, Mike. They're just loaded, and they've got the Scarborough kid who moved from catcher now to third. And now their infield is set up. They've got 3 very good pitchers, with one of them being the Huner kid, and then the Lee kid, and then the guy that's been setting the woods on fire, Mike. You got to help me.
Boy, you talking Starworth?
Starworth. I got it, Starworth. Walker Starworth. So.
Here's potential matchups for Troy in 5A. Briarwood advanced past Munford. They took 2 games. They won big in both. Chilton County beat Demopolis, so they advance. Let's see here. Etowah beat Jasper. Marbury and Bibb County, second game with 13 innings.
Oh boy!
So maybe that's why the game 3 is Monday.
Yeah.
So Marbury won the first game 2-1 and got beat by Bibb County 4-1 in the second game. So they will play today. Moody beat Parker. Scottsboro beat Madison Academy. Game 3 will be today as well. Southside of Gaston beat Corner, but then Corner beat Southside of Gaston, so that game will be today as well. Man, a lot of games today.
Yeah.
Springville, God, that's a team that looks kind of scary. They won 24-1 and 25-2. So
I'm
Springville
looking.
is 26 and 5. They advance.
Well, let me tell you, I'm looking at something that
then Sylacauga looks really good too. They advance after destroying Ramsey, so that's 5A. So those are teams Charles Henderson might possibly play. Yeah,
I was looking at the 7A right now, and Vestavia is 25 and 8. Let me tell you this: other than Hoover with 29 wins, and Bob Jones is 35 and 8. But the next one in line is Charles Henderson. Well, Hueytown won 30. I was seeing how many what teams won the most games. Russell County won 34 and 3. Boy, they're always good. They got that new coach, Rasmus Mike, is back coaching at Russell County. So you know he's going to have to play.
You got Arrington playing today against Cottonwood to decide who goes to the second round.
That will be a good one. Of course, Brantley's going to be playing Billingsley in the second round. So Titletown's doing good. Cottonwood is at Luverne. I'm hoping I'm right here. Instead, I don't want to get them confused with softball, but a lot of local teams still in baseball championships, and of course the girls start a week later. And then also I want to mention in 3A boys, In the Alabama Independent Schools, you got Pike Liberal Arts 20-10 playing host to Fort Dale at Pike, and that starts this week. And Glenwood are always good, 30-10 against Tuscaloosa Academy, 19-8. These are familiar teams. Macon East 27-11 at Morgan. Morgan is 25-0. How in the world do you do that? And then listen to this, Bessemer 27-10 against Lee Scott. So let me tell you, that 3A division, and I think you'll agree with me, Mike, is real good baseball in the Alabama Independent Schools. I'd put them up. I'd put them up against a lot of teams. Good program, especially Glenwood. They're just like a Columbus, Georgia farm league, you know.
Well, the team you don't really hear about near as much as you used to is Lee Scott. You know, they've got a waiting list of probably like 500 kids waiting to get into school.
Yeah, they're still in it at 29. And let's say that, everybody talks about Montgomery Academy, a great school, and Montgomery Public School. No, it'll be a private but public.
Auburn public schools are through the roof. Some of the best in the state. Yeah. Everybody always talks about that.
Yeah, no question about it. But Lee Scott, right there in Auburn, Opelika area, is a very good school. No question about it. Crenshaw Christians still in it. They'll be playing a doubleheader today, so look forward to that and find out how they come out. But a lot of baseball going on, and we always said that we're going to follow this as closely as we can and keep up with local baseball as we especially get into the playoffs. But
I tell you what, you can't ask for any better weather today. I mean, it was 54 degrees this morning down here in Grayton, but I think the high today is going to be around 80, so it's just beautiful weather.
Yeah, Mike, I was looking at.
I can't imagine with the wind we had over the weekend and playing baseball games. I imagine there's a few balls that got caught up in the wind that were pretty hard to catch.
Yeah, Mike, we mentioned earlier there was a double red flag, but I saw waves at least 10 foot tall.
That was some of the more impressive water. Thank goodness you didn't see any crazy surfers out there trying to surf.
Evidently you lost one or maybe two this weekend, and just foolish to go out in it, and there were people still going out in it. And
yeah, I mean, you're always going to have people that just don't pay attention to the flags and stuff like that. I will say down here, we have a full-time lifeguard on Grayton Beach, and it's a very small beach.
But you're right.
That always makes me feel good to know that we have that out there just in case.
You don't see that anymore. Evidently, it cost them too much money, I reckon, and liability.
Thank goodness they got a lot of money down here.
And then their liability, like if something does happen with a lifeguard on duty and he's supposed to be trained and all that, and they still drown or whatever. Back when you were young, you remember back when you were young?
Yeah,
we used to see.
Forget that when I was a little kid.
We used to see it all the time. We used to see it all the time. People drown.
That was actually when I'll never forget that. I mean, I actually saw that happen where they tried to resuscitate her, but they couldn't.
And it's sad. You're right, especially when you have a lifeguard that gets in trouble, and that'll just tell you that you got to be careful. These waves, you can't predict them, And
that's one thing people got to realize when they're in an undertow. You can't go forward and backwards. You got to go side to side.
And at the one time, some people call it body surfing or whatever, but you remember how I used to really ride the waves and ride them a long time. But many times I've had that wave to slam me down to the bottom and rock me. I mean, I'd get up and I'd be dizzy. But you take an inexperienced swimmer, and they're going to drown with a lick like that. You know how the waves will just slam you to the ground,
Yeah, that's what I told my,
You just can't predict it.
We're talking about the kids, as far as, they like to go stick their feet in there and then run back, of course, and stuff like that. But, undertow in the right ways, I mean, shoot, they can fall in pretty quick, even if they're just barely, got a few toes in there.
And like you said, if you hit the wrong wave, you could be out.
Right now, I'm sure Panama City Beach loved the fact that a 13-foot, 1,600-pound great white shark was spotted right off the coast. So I'm sure that made nobody want to get in the water this weekend.
All right, now, you know you're going to get in trouble with this now. Where was that located again?
Trouble, that was on national news. That was on Fox. That was on CNN.
Where was that located again?
They have tracking devices. See all these, you know, people that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, go out and tag these great white sharks. They tag other fish, and they want to track them to see kind of their migration patterns. So they want to see how far they are. Like, you know, certain parts of the year they're on the East Coast. You know, sometimes they're out in the Caribbean, and then sometimes they're in the Gulf of Mexico. So that shark actually had a ping on it. So anytime its fin came above water, you were able to track its motion. It was originally in Pensacola a few weeks ago, and now it's in the Panama City Beach area.
Yeah.
And it's amazing technology. Of course, they do that on a lot of different, big, sea life like gray whites and whales and stuff like that. You know, they just want to see their pattern as far as where they go.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, you wanna kill an industry, buddy. You let somebody see a big white swimming right down there.
Navarre Beach. You know, we had friends that had places in Navarre, and Navarre off a pier 2 months ago, they caught a 750-pound great white.
Oh boy.
So they're out there.
Well, I tell you what.
Out there in deeper water.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know for sure, so go on and enjoy it until somebody tells you to get out.
We know 100% for sure. All this is documented.
Okay, it is documented.
Yeah.
Well, be careful because.
It's one of those type things. I mean, this time of year, you're not going to be getting too far out in the water. It's pretty cold. So.
Well, let me tell you this, Mike, and you're going to argue with me.
That's why down here in Grayton you have the best of both worlds. You actually have a brackish lake, and you have the Gulf of Mexico, so you can put the little ones in the lake.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something, and this is the truth, nothing but the truth. I have been in the waves and in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico many, many times over the years. I have yet to ever see a live shark swimming in the water. Yet to ever see a live shark swimming in the water. And I've been in the water many, many times. So there are a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy. I have yet to ever see a live. Now, I've seen them dead. The old small ones, these little sand sharks, dead, but I've never seen a shark swimming in the water of the Gulf of Mexico.
I will say there's more reports of sharks in the Grayton area than any place I've ever been at the beach. I will say growing up in Sunnyside, I agree with you. I've never seen one in the water, but I've seen one in the water.
Well, I'll tell you what they're looking for. If you're having some of those fishing boats.
You see a lot of, of course, it's one of those type things that, people talk about this and that, but you see a lot of, the porpoises and the dolphins.
That's right, yeah. Now, you see that. Now, I see porpoises and dolphins all the time, and that's
usually a good sign there's not sharks, because they usually...
they'll attack a shark.
Scared of sharks, actually, the dolphins and the porpoises. But I will say that one of the most unique things I've ever seen in the water in Great Beach is an actual sea turtle swimming probably 10 yards in front of me, which I've never seen before ever in the water.
Yeah, that's amazing. Of course, we're not trying to...
Do I see stingrays and manta rays every time I'm out in the water? Of course I do.
I
see stingrays and manta rays one time in front of our house in Sunnyside. I think you probably removed 30 of them to the beach.
Yeah.
You remember how many times you were picking those up?
Oh, yeah.
They were just everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. But, we were talking the other day that, catching fish off the bank in the Gulf, like whiting and, some of those fish,
you wouldn't believe the guy the other day caught a 35-pound redfish right in front of us.
Right in front of you. And, of course, speckled trout, but you used to see whiting all the time.
You claim you caught the biggest speckled trout ever off the
well,
pier.
You saw it.
You
saw it. It was 7 pounds. It was 7 pounds. That's a huge trout. It really is.
What did you catch those on when you saw us go speckled trout fishing?
I always fish with a grub. I fish with a grub, and when I would go out in the boat, I used to fish with topwater lures in the mornings. Speckled trout will hit it. That's the best fresh food fish out there as far as great food is those speckled trout. But that 7-pounder was about 24 inches long, which was huge. That's a big speckled trout. Did it on Thanksgiving Day. You remember that? Caught it on Thanksgiving Day off the bridge.
I was talking to a guy the other day. We were at a meeting with all the Graton Beach owners, and this guy has a boat called Trigger Happy, and he's been going out down here on his charter boat off the beach in Graton for 25 years. And I was talking to him about fishing and this and that, and he said they go 9 miles out off of Graton Beach. 9 miles, that's still a long time by boat.
Oh yeah, and then what it is, they know where these.
They're not huge beach.
People have taken old cars, and people have the serious people know exactly where they want to go and know where they.
They got their honey holes, I guess they call them.
That's right, no question about it. But now let me tell you, you're talking about sharks at Graton Beach. It could be because those boats are cleaning their fish.
The fish are
and they're pouring fresh fish, dead fish, and scraps in the Gulf, and that'll accumulate.
They're not supposed to be doing that, but anytime there's blood in the water,
And you're right. And of course, it's supposed to be, like you said, it's supposed to be a law against it. But see that. There at Graton, where they allow those fishing boats to come through there all the time, they do about what they want to,
They can only have 8 boats go out off the beach. So
really?
It's a prime spot to go out. But that is one thing you got to think about. Also, the water from the lake comes in there every once in a while as well, and I think some different kind of fishes are out there that are more easier prey.
All right, now you are a man that loves good food, and go ahead and give us your 10 favorite places to eat at the beach.
At the beach?
At the beach.
I mean, my God, I could probably do my top 5. My top 5. My favorite is the Italian place Barago in Graton.
Well, that's an Italian.
The Red Bar is probably number 2. Dusty's.
What do you get at the Italian restaurant? Spaghetti, or what do you get?
I get the grilled shrimp over pasta.
I bet that's good.
Prosciutto in it, and their red sauce is incredible. But they also have the best fried calamari I've ever had in my life. That's just incredibly good.
And that's right there at.
It's walking distance. But I'll say, Dusty's I'm a huge fan of, as far as if you want to buy a pound of shrimp, pound of crab claws. Of course, there's some other local places down here that are really good. We like the local catch is good.
I like that place. I like the place right up, from the intersection next to my donut place. I like that place.
Next to your donut place.
Yeah, right down the street from.
Are you talking about Chanticleer?
Yeah, I like that.
Sandwich place,
yeah. But now they've got the best.
I like Great Southern and Seaside. That's a good restaurant. People still love Cafe 38. That's probably in my top 10. There's Fish Out of Water at Watercolor that's really good. There's places on down in Blue Mountain and Santa Rosa. Stinky's Fish Camp's really popular. So they've got tons of good restaurants around here. Of course, the ones we go to are most of the time are in Graton because we can just walk.
Yeah. No question about it. Of course, the Red Bar.
One of your favorites is Hunt's in Panama City. That's a really good place as well.
I think that's the best seafood buffet. I mean, not buffet, but platter on the beach. Now, everybody said, that's fried fish. Most people like grilled fish. Now, of course, the famous grilled fish is Captain Anderson.
I'd like to go down, since I'm closer to Destin and Sandestin now, to go to more restaurants in Sandestin and Destin.
The Ocean Club, is the Ocean Club still open? Is the Ocean Club still open? That's a good place to eat.
Now, I will tell you, I had lunch the other day at View 30A, which is the old Santa Rosa Country Club, right there on the beach.
Is it open to the public now?
It was a great restaurant.
Is it open to the public?
Yeah, you and Mom would love that.
I've eaten there with some members before, or at a wedding before,
Yeah, it's really good. But there's good steak places down here. There's a little bit of everything. That's what I told my wife the other day. It's kind of funny. I thought I'd be eating seafood, pretty much every other meal, but I still eat just kind of the same stuff that I ate in Birmingham. So
well, of course, everybody, Captain Anderson, if you want grilled fish, they're famous for their.
Captain Anderson's is good, but man, I don't go like head over heels about it like some people do. I mean, some people think it's the greatest place ever.
Well, a friend of mine usually gives the waitress a couple $100 at the first of the year, and he never has to wait in line. So you might have to spend some money up front. Of course, the food is good, and we're having a good time talking about
food. I guess down our way, the Boar's Head was good for years, but it's not open anymore.
And I'm hoping they'll build back, but we don't know. And of course,
they were known for their prime rib.
But let me tell you a little something about the sandwich that you get at Chanticleer, or what is the name of it? Chanticleer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Instead of sliced. Tell us about that sandwich, Mike.
You talking that Reuben?
The Reuben. The Reuben is
corned beef.
What they do, they cut a big, thick slice of corned beef, maybe an inch and a half to an inch, and put the whole slab of corned beef on the sandwich instead of a lot of people cut it real thin, but these are this is thick cut of, and buddy, it is a good sandwich. It really is. And then they've got a tomato-based soup that's real good too, don't they?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah. But
the place is packed. Every time I go by there during lunchtime, they're really packed.
Well, you talk about Hunt's down in, of course, it's all the way down, though, in Santa, I would say the
Hunt's of St. Andrews Bay.
Yeah, the St. Andrews. And it's by far the best down there. You've got the shrimp boat, and you've got, what's his name,
You got the captain's table. It's been down there for years.
Yeah, and it's good, but...
a lot of people like Uncle Ernie's.
I don't like, well, I mean, we shouldn't downgrade them because some people do. It's not one of my favorites, but I
used to like J. Michael's. Is it still open?
Yeah, it's still open. It's still and doing well, no question about it.
The thing is like I used to think when we were kids, we used to wait in line forever to go to Angela's Steak Pit.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember last time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd probably make a decent steak, but I think I make a better steak than that.
Yeah, in fact, you'll have one better at home, no question about it. But seafood, there's some still great places to eat down there.
When we were kids growing up, though, everybody wanted to go to Shuckham's. Was it just because of the T-shirts, or was the food good?
I think it's good. I think it's still good. Of course, for raw oysters, I would put Dusty's in there with a lot of people.
Raw oysters, Hunt's, Dusty's, then Shuckham's.
And Hunt's, and Hunt's and Dusty's, and Shuckham's always is precious.
Well, honestly, I mean, you hear so much about oysters now, I don't like messing with them very much anymore.
No, that's just your opinion now. Let me tell you this. It's still hard to get a seat at any of those Shuckham bars,
Yeah, you got to be careful. You're going to end up soaking wet by the time you walk out if you sit too close to them.
I know. Those guys have been shucking oysters for years and years and years, and we're excited. Mike, the white team, the gray team beat the white team 26-7, and what do you? And before we go off the air, Coach Lindsay seemed to be pretty pleased, and he did play a lot of people.
First of all, I've never heard of a spring game when the gray played the white. It was usually always the Cardinal against the white.
That's exactly right.
That's the first time I've ever heard the gray against the white.
You're exactly right. No question about it.
But, I don't know. I mean, it's a spring game. Troy's not going to be showing anything. There's kind of vanilla, just like they were saying, Alabama and Auburn, the same thing. They're not showing anything. Yeah. But I think Troy's got a team that's loaded.
Yeah.
And, there's going to be a lot of expectations for Coach Lindsay in his first year. And, Neil Brown has left a program that's, one of the top, I guess, non-Power 5.
Well, let me just tell you something. Let me tell you something. I played Neil Brown.
It's going to be basically, when we pick, next year what we think the record's going to be, I think I can't go anything less than 9-3 probably right now. I think the only teams that can beat them are App State, Georgia Southern, and Missouri.
Mike, you got to throw Arkansas State in there. They're pretty good too.
Yeah. Arkansas State's a little bit declining though. They're not as good as they used to be.
Well, they always play hard-nosed defense and so forth. But I would say this, that I'd play West Virginia right now and expect to beat them. Wouldn't you think?
I mean, I think
Troy against West Virginia right now. Troy would win the football game.
The same thing, probably.
Troy would win the football game because we're good.
We're going to find out who's better because West Virginia's going to play Missouri.
Tell me,
Troy's going to play Missouri.
Before we go off there, tell me a team out there that Troy could not play with. Maybe Alabama, but I'm talking about could not play with.
They couldn't play with Alabama. They couldn't play with Georgia. They couldn't play with Florida.
You don't think they could play with Georgia?
No.
Or Florida?
Not with all that talent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could play with Auburn. I think Troy would be a scary matchut for Auburn next year with their young quarterbacks.
What we're talking about, we're talking about a loaded Troy team.
A scary matchup for Auburn. I think any of the Mississippi schools, I think they'd give all they want as well.
Oh yeah, they would beat
Ole Miss.
I think they would beat either one of them.
I think they'd play Mississippi State. I think they'd beat Vandy.
I think they'd beat Tennessee.
I think Kentucky, they'd play straight up. I mean, I think this is one of the more talented Troy teams they've ever had.
No question about it.
It's all about if Barker can come back 100% healthy, though.
No question about it. No question about it. Hope you've enjoyed our show. You can watch us again today at 1:30 on Today in L.A. Tell everybody about it. It's a wonderful show. We'd love to hear from you each day. Have a great day.